Police have said the crash, which injured 14 people outside a train station in Melbourne, Australia, was a deliberate act. Witnesses described people flying everywhere as a white car was driven at crowds outside Flinders Street Station in Melbourne just after 4:30 p.m. 5:30 am GMT. 2 people have been arrested, and officers said several people are in a critical condition, adding it was early days in the investigation and the motivation was unknown. Images from the scene showed a number of people receiving medical attention, while a white Suzuki SUV appeared to have crashed to a stop. Police said they had saturated the area with officers as paramedics transported 13 people to city hospitals, while 2 people were being assessed by paramedics at the scene. A woman called Sue told 3 Radio, as the car approached this intersection, "It just mowed everybody down. People were flying everywhere." Social media images appeared to show a young man in jeans and a t-shirt being arrested by 3 police officers on the steps of the station, although it was unclear if he had been in the car. Lachlan Reed told the Herald-Sun the whole incident lasted about 15 seconds. "It was bang, bang, bang. It was just one after the other. The last bang the car stopped," the 20-year-old said. "There were bodies on the ground and people running up to them. It was mayhem. It is definitely something you don't expect to see on Flinders Street." It was the first week of school summer holidays in Victoria, and the area was busy with Christmas shoppers. Elton Hindley, who works at an off-license by the scene of the incident in Elizabeth Street, told the Herald-Sun that a man who was pulled from the car appeared to be unconscious. "The girl came into the shop and she was very upset," he said. "She said a guy in a big car had hit about 6 people. It wasn't clear if the driver was hitting them on purpose or not. He hit the people then crashed into the tram area in the middle of the road." A man who was working in a nearby shop and was at the scene before emergency services arrived told the Australian Associated Press, "There was no screaming, just people lying there." Victoria Police said officers had saturated the city's central business district following an incident where a car had collided with the number of pedestrians on Flinders Street. The driver of the vehicle and a second man have been arrested and are in police custody, the force said. The number of people were treated at the scene for a range of injuries and have been transported to hospital. The crime scene has been established and all vehicular and pedestrian traffic are advised to avoid the area. Commander Russell Barrett said, "Police arrived at the scene within minutes and arrested 2 men. At this stage we have 14 people injured and several are critical. At this stage we believe it is a deliberate act. However, we do not know the motivation and it is still the early stages of the investigation." Police and emergency service will remain on scene for the foreseeable future. The crime scene will be in place for a considerable amount of the time. Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull tweeted, "As our federal and state police and security agencies work together to secure the scene and investigate this shocking incident, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the emergency and health workers who are treating them." The incident follows the spate of attacks in major cities in Europe and the US in which terrorists have used vehicles as a weapon against innocent people. 86 people were killed in Nice in July 2016 when a lorry was driven into crowds celebrating Bastille Day. 12 people died in December last year when a truck was driven at crowds at a Christmas market in Berlin. 4 pedestrians and a police officer were killed by Khalid Massoud in the Westminster Bridge attack in March. In June, 8 people were killed and 48 injured when 3 terrorists plowed into pedestrians on London Bridge then went on a knife rampage in Borough Market. 13 people were killed when a van was driven down Barcelona's Las Ramblas in August, and in October, 8 died in a truck attack in New York.